Yeah, my name's Jeff and I've been working for Speedy Wheels for more than 50 years. So I went up to the newsagents and I got the St George Leader. There was this ad advertised for somebody to work in the wheel industry. Welding experience would be helpful or something to that effect, the ad said. So I went and applied for the job and met Luke Tonkin, who works for us. It was his grandfather that started Speedy Wheels. And I went in and he said, oh yeah, went through a bit of rigmarole. What have you been doing? I said, oh, spray painting. He said, oh yeah. Can you weld? I said, yes, I've been doing a course at Tech. So straight away, as soon as I said that, he took me up to the back of the building and he said, there's the welder. What amperage would you run welding this particular wheel? And I looked at it and I said, oh yeah, well, we'll use 10 gauge and we'll run it at this amps and blah, blah, blah. And he said, oh, that sounds pretty good. How about you weld it? So I started welding this piece of steel together that they had sitting up. He'd obviously set it up prior. So I welded the piece of steel up and he looked at it and he took it over to the vise and he started smacking it with a hammer and he couldn't break it. So he says, he said, all right. He said, can you start now? I said, oh, I haven't got any overalls with me. He says, I've got some here. So that's how I started at Speedy Wheels, and I've been here ever since. We used to do all wheel repairs on smashed vehicles for the panel beaters, and wheel widening was just sort of coming in, doing a little bit of work for some track guys, making some wheels wider. And in those days we used to split the rims. We'd get one rim and cut the front off and another rim and cut the back off. Then we'd weld those two halves together. So we'd cut them off, we'd machine them up in the lathe so they were nice, married together perfectly, tacked them together and welded them. So that's why the welding was required. But we also used to repair truck wheels, and we used to do a lot of wire spoke wheels, restorations for vintage cars that had wire spoke wheels. So after a 50-year apprenticeship, that's why I call myself a qualified wheelwright. And yes, it's one of those things that it's probably an unusual job. I enjoy doing it, and that's why I'm still here, because I do enjoy doing it, and you learn something every day. My role here with the company presently is to look after the database, which I go out and have a look at new cars when they come out. We measure brake caliper clearance, guard clearance, and the idea of all this is that information gets put into our database, and our database does a sorting process, because when I get a new product, I actually do a scan of the back of the spoke of the wheel. So that's what we call the X factor area of a wheel, which is where the brake caliper goes. And then that's also in the database. So then when I put the new car information in the database, I can click on the button and it will give me a short list of possible fitments. 50 years working in Speedy Wheels, it gives you insight, creates a gut feeling when you mightn't be able to pinpoint something, but you know it doesn't look right, there's something suspicious. Same thing with claims, all those sorts of things. So the experience gives you a feeling when somebody rings up and says, I've got a problem with a wheel, the experience comes into play and you go, I remember that from 20 years ago, and I'm serious, it does happen that way. And within this industry or within this company, I've been able to lock things away in my mind, and they crop up on a daily basis. So I guess it gives you the intuition and the instinct to when something's not quite right, or you look at something and you've got this instinct to go back and check it because it just didn't feel right. We're now here in Speedy Wheels workshop, and we're just going to run through a few things here about what we do here in the workshop, where we modify wheels, we change offsets, we drill wheels. So we bring in what we call a semi-blank wheel, and we can drill it with this machine over here to suit quite a huge variety. So we stock one wheel and we can make it fit 20 other vehicles. Also over here on the other side here we've got our lathe where we machine off the back face of the wheel so we can change the offset up to a certain amount. So we might bring a wheel in at 0 and we're able to machine it down to 25 offset for argument's sake. Or we bring another wheel in at 30 offset and we can machine it back to 45 offset. So that's basically our machine shop here. We don't have the ability to stock every single car fitment. So the use of blank wheels and the machine shop here gives us the ability to do those odd cars that are not the everyday run-of-the-mill stuff. Well, I hope you guys that have joined us and watching this video have enjoyed our video and hope that it explains a few things to you. And we'll look forward to seeing some more of these videos and other things like this on Facebook shortly.